Commission for Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. Mary Ellen, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Tedesco?
Present.
Commissioner Volpe? Present. Clock? Commissioner Willard? Alternate Commissioner? Here. Alternate Commissioner Cobia? Alternate Commissioner Coles?
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Ma? Here. Commissioner Santiago?
Here.
Vice Chair Salka? Chair Hammersley?
Hammersley is here. I did hear from Commissioner Salka, Clock, and Coviello that they would not be here. So in their absence, we will see all three of our present alternates. So it works out well. We have a quorum. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. No, I have three people out today. Oh, I'm sorry. So you're right. Sorry about that. Before we do that, we'll see Commissioner Ma and Commissioner Kier tonight. Okay? We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. All right, I'll note in item number 6 that there were a revised set of minutes that were circulated earlier this afternoon that reflect a specific application that we had some confusion on. If everyone's had a chance to look over those, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting on June 21st, 2022.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, Commissioner discussion. Any subcommittees have anything to report? Commissioner Santiago.
Mary Ellen has advised that she and staff will be meeting with Galena Parametrics on the regulation review this week. And so we'll be meeting in the next couple weeks. And so hopefully we'll be able to have a preliminary report at our next meeting in August.
Excellent. Any other subcommittees? Commissioner Volpe.
Yeah, food truck subcommittee is coming to a close finally. I'm working on submitting a report to Mary Ellen, basically just about some of the statistical findings we found. But at this time, we're going to move forward with what the current regulations have in place. We saw a good uptick there, but we haven't really since then. There's been some good discussion about it, but I don't think it's of the purview of this commission, and what we kind of have in place right now is good for us. It's either totally overcomplicate the matter, bring it before us and craft entire regulations around it, or continue with what we have and see them on a case-by-case basis when they do come to us. I have faith in the planning department and in the zoning board of appeals that's possible. So that's what my report will state, and I should get that to Mary Ellen before our next meeting.
Okay. Thanks, Christina. Any other subcommittee reports? I'll just say on those two reports, if you all could just work with staff just to make sure that we get those on the agenda when they're ready to be presented. We'll just include them under this agenda item, and we'll just have an actual report, a couple of minutes to go through it and more formally introduce it. The last thing I'll say under this agenda item is that several months ago, the commission approved the affordable housing plan. Contained within that affordable housing plan are a series of recommendations that were enumerated, things that we could do, things that we could take up. I'm asking members of the commission to review those options, those suggestions, the possible revisions to our regulations. And I want to come back in September or October with sort of a plan on maybe doing something if that's what we decide to do. But I don't have an interest in keeping that plan on the shelf, collecting dust and us not doing anything. And anyone who saw the town council meeting, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, there was a gentleman who from a mobile park who talked about the Fair Rent Commission requirement that's on us to establish a fair rent commission by June of next year, 2023. So again, I just am asking commission members to review the plan and think about what types of things they might support or be able to support or like to see move forward. And with that, if we're all done with that, I'll just read our preamble to our public hearing, and we'll, Commissioner Tedesco. Go ahead.
Question, the Fair Rent Commission, is that established in Connecticut state law, federal law?
My understanding is the General Assembly passed a law this past session that requires all towns to establish a fair rent commission. I know that Chairman Triano on the town council said that they're working on it, so it may be town council responsibility, but I think that we have a role to play within that as well. So I'd like you all to just, again, think about what we can support and you know, if it's nothing, then it's nothing. If it's something, then it's something. So we'll move forward that way. All right.
Absolutely.
Everyone all set? Okay, and good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Southington Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Robert Hammersley. I'm the chairman of the commission. I'd like to take a few moments to explain the meeting format. Aside from administrative items, tonight's meeting is comprised of two parts, a public hearing and a business meeting. During the public hearing, the applicant will present the application to us in detail, which will allow commission members and the public the opportunity to better understand what is being proposed. The commission members may ask questions during the presentation if needed. Then we will ask members of the public who support and oppose the application to speak. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Once recognized, come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Please address all comments directly to myself and not to the applicant or other members of the public. Be advised that this is your opportunity to ask questions and make comments on the application, because once the public hearing is closed, no additional testimony from the public or the applicant will be permitted. It's important to maintain order and decorum at all times during the meeting, and I also am pretty adamant about us having a mutually respectful conversation. After everyone's had a full opportunity to speak, all questions have been answered and all information has been received. We'll decide whether it's appropriate to close the hearing. We will not consider voting on an application until the business meeting. During the business meeting, the commission will deliberate on the application submitted and decide how to act on them. The commission may approve the application as submitted, approve it with stipulations, conditions, or modifications, table the application for a future meeting, or in some cases deny an application. 4 affirmative votes of the commission are generally required to approve an application. If you have to leave the meeting before a decision is rendered, you may call the planning department, Mary Ellen down the end there, tomorrow afternoon and get results from tonight's meeting. And with that, we will move on to item 8A, Mark Mahalik. Did I say that correctly? Yes. Okay. Yeah, every once in a while,
Wow.
guys, huh?
Holy moly.
Mark, I'm notorious for butchering names, so, but you're the lucky one. Special permit application for garage in excess of 3 spaces, property located at 126 Laurelwood Drive, zoned R80. This is SBU 664. Mark, do you have a presentation to give to us and just talk to us about what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I can
Again,
talk
give
to
us your name and address
All
to
right.
start with.
Mark Mahal, 126 Laurelwood Drive in Plantsville. The special permit application is for a 2-car detached garage. The home has a 2-car garage now, so the new one would be 20 by 32 at the end of the driveway. I know that it's on a little bit of a slope. The only question that had come up from Jim Grappone, probably murdering that name.
Yep.
No.
How it would be addressed as far as the grading and so forth. My understanding is that the foundation wall, where the low part of the slope would be exposed, and then we would, use whatever with the exposed wall, but it wouldn't have a retaining wall or anything like that. It would just be the portion of the foundation would be exposed in the back. It wouldn't really change any water issues. The gutter there's a swale behind it right now where everything runs down, and the gutter would run to that from the roof. And that's pretty much it. It would be for personal use only, no business being conducted. It's a 1.5 story, so attic space up above with a staircase to the attic space.
Okay. Any questions? Is that it, Mark, or?
I think
Any
so.
questions from members of the commission? Jim, did you want to weigh in? I saw that you had comments on the retaining wall, and I just want to make sure that your stuff gets on the record, so.
Sure. So when we got the plan in, which I reviewed, it gave probably the as-built location of the house and where the proposed garage or detached garage was going to be located, but it didn't have any grades on it. And as Mr. McCulloch indicated, there is I'll call it a substantial slope in the back. So I asked the question about a retaining wall. So So I think the answer that Seva was involved at, and it also was that the rear foundation wall would act as a retaining wall, which I think was presented just now. But the side slopes on how those are going to transition, I thought would require wing walls off that. So you have the foundation for the structure, then off that there might be wings based on the slope that's in the rear there. So the more information that we get up front, the better, because when the applicant comes in for a building permit, now we're chasing after these details because it's not on the plan. So that's why we came up with the comment. So, if the commission feels it can move forward, I have no problem with working with that. But then I think the applicant becomes frustrated because they think they can start building right away when we want more details. So the more we can get up front, the better. And we encourage the applicants working with staff and trying to answer as many questions up front.
Okay, so I think what I hear, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you might be looking for a stipulation on the if we eventually approve this, the applicant work with the engineering department to satisfy what they're looking for.
Yes.
And the approval will be stipulated on that. Would that be an accurate representation?
Correct, Mr. Chair. Thanks.
Mark, do you have a problem with that at all, or?
Nope.
Okay. You understand what Jim is saying, or?
I believe so, outside of the engineering part of it. That's beyond my pay grade, but
That's why you hire the professional,
Exactly.
right? So, Sav, you understand, you're doing this, correct? Yes. Okay. You understand what Jim is saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So with that, Mark, if you have nothing else, I'll just open it up to members of the public. Anyone might want to speak. I don't think there's anything else from members of the commission. So
thank you.
thanks for your time. Yeah. Hey, okay. At this time, we'll open up to members of the public. If there anyone who would like to testify either for or against this application, please come forward, state your name and your address for the record as I stated, and let us know what you think. I don't see anybody. With that, we're prepared to close the public hearing, or are we all set with that, staff, or Mary Ellen and Jim, you good with that? You're not waiting for anything, in other words, right? Okay, any objection from members of the commission in the public hearing on this? Okay, we'll close the public hearing on that. Moving on to item 8B, Imperial Development LLC subdivision application for a 5-lot re-subdivision property located at 540 Lazy Lane, zoned R2025, S1336. Mr. Bravino, take it away.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commission members, Seth Bovino, Rocassa Johnson Associates, and the applicant. For orientation purpose on the screen here, this is Curtis Street, and that's Lazy Lane. North is up. The subject property is located at the corner, as discussed, identified as 540 Lazy Lane. It is mostly an open field, if you're familiar with that area, you know, with some wooded area in the northeast corner, which is in this area here. The land area is 7.79 acres. It is zoned R2025. It's owned by Beverly Fiondella. The land drains north to northwest toward I-84. So this land drains in this direction, and then northwest towards 84 to there's a swale on the property with with a pond here. That pond empties with an existing swale and runs parallel to Lazy Lane into a 24-inch culvert under Lazy Lane and discharges into 84. We are maintaining the drainage patterns of this property. We're not changing the grades in a way that changes the direction of the flow. We are providing zero increase in runoff in terms of drainage as required by the regulation. The property has 660 linear feet of frontage on Curtis Street, 660 linear feet there. 700 feet of frontage, not counting the 230 feet of the existing house here on Lazy Lane. The proposal is for a 5-lot re-subdivision, 2 lots on Curtis Street will be 1, 2, and 3 lots on Lazy Lane, 1, 2, Actually, yeah, 1, 2, 3 on Lazy Lane. These 3 lots face on Lazy Lane. The lots on Lazy Lane will be served by private well and septic systems. The lots on Curtis Street will be served by public water and septic system. All lots proposed exceed the minimum land area of 22.5 square feet. All lots have the appropriate frontage. The map shows 7 lots. We are requesting approval for 5 lots, and the application indicated that. Lot 1 and 7 are not a building lot at this time. This lot here and this lot at this location here. Because the owner at this time is not ready to sell those 2 parcels. Lot 1 is 38,623 square feet, much more than the minimum required, and the lot 7 is 3.3 acres. We are requesting approval for 5 lots, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, as I indicated. We received Water Department and Health Department approval. We received staff comments from Planning and Engineering. We provided responses in writing. The maps were revised and resubmitted for their review and approval, and for the commission to review. The comments were provided, and I know that you received the comments. Those comments reflect, the changes on the map reflect their concerns and suggestions. All the appropriate notes are on the plan, and all the details are on the plan. If you have any questions at this time, I'll be glad to answer.
Okay, so this is a redivision of a pre-approved subdivision. Is that
Yes.
somewhat accurate? So when was it originally subdivided?
This property here, first they received a building permit for the house. And then years later, they had to go in for a subdivision. They sold this lot to someone build a house at this location. I don't have the exact date, but maybe it was in the 70s, but it was definitely a requirement for re-subdivision. It was not a free cut.
So the issue comes up on the sidewalk requirement, that your position, from what I've heard, is that the sidewalk requirement is not required because the subdivision predates a sidewalk requirement within our regulations.
That's not my position. I'm not stating that it predates the zoning regulation. My position is there was a court case done in 1996 thereabout by Attorney D'Onofrio on Meriden Avenue on behalf of Countywide Construction or Jubilee Builders for a subdivision, and went to court, and the court adjudicated that a sidewalk on an existing public road is an off-site improvement and thereby is not required.
Okay. So I think at the very least, in my discussions with town staff and with some commission members, that we're going to look for our town council to confirm that is in fact applicable to this application. All right? So in other words, I don't think we're going to be acting on this tonight, because
I understand.
I want to get that from town council. But with that, I'll open it up to other commission members. I'm just going to ask.
If I may finish on that issue,
Go ahead.
it's not just applicable to this subdivision, it's applicable to any property in town that faces existing public roads. The idea is that if you build a new road for a subdivision, then it's your responsibility to put the sidewalk in, the developer responsibility. If it's on an existing thoroughfare, it's a town road already existing, and the judge decided that in that case, sidewalks cannot be imposed.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for our town council.
And I have reached out to Attorney D'Onofrio to get his response in terms of when it was done and the case, so we can give it to Mary Ellen.
Okay, and Mary Ellen, you can work with Alex just to make sure that he gets something back to us by our next meeting, which is roughly about a month away. So, but with that, let's move forward with what you gave us. I just have one other question. There's 2 lots on your plan that you pointed out that are marked not for building lot at this time. So again, I want to put it on the record that if we approve this application ultimately, that you understand that that's not an approval to build on those 2 lots that are marked not for building lot or building lot at this time. Do you understand that?
Correct. And it's indicated on the map, and I'm stating in the record. It is indicated with the health department. Worked with them. The story here is that when we started this project, we hired a soil scientist, which we took tests on the entire property. And so we generated 7 lots with the test bits information and all that. And we designed, the applicant wants the design for the entire project. He didn't want to do a 5 lot and then come back 5 years later, oh, we got to design it again. So we did the design as if these things were to be approved. But the decision was made that we don't want the approval for those 2 lots. We did receive wetlands approval. The test pits passed the health department, but we clearly indicate that these lots are not building lots. These are parcels.
Okay,
There's a distinction between a building lot where you can walk into the town and get a building permit versus a parcel.
okay, got it. Any other questions for members of the commission? Commissioner Santago?
I'm sorry, Seb, I think you said it just for my edification. So when it was approved previously, was the map like this, or was it just the 2 sites in question? What was approved the first time?
The first time the approval was for this building lot that's right here. This property used to run this way.
Yeah.
And now they cut this building out. So there's a map on file
Yeah.
that shows the entire property with this building lot
Down south.
right here.
Okay, so this whole piece of land, when it was first approved, was not drawn this way. In other words, these parcels weren't drawn out like this, like you have it today,
That's
right?
correct. These are 7 new parcels.
7 new parcels. So it's not like this was approved before. We're just reaffirming it by any stretch.
That's why it's a re-subdivision.
So that's why we call it a re-subdivision, not a reapproval,
That's right.
if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
There's steps in the process. If you have 10 acres of land prior to 1957, which is the time the zoning regulation took effect in this town, you can have a free cut. You can have a 1 lot on that parcel, and you can go and get a permit. You file the map, show it to the planning department, they check for zoning compliance, they sign it, and we file it at the clerk's office, and then you can get a permit without coming through your board and get approval. The next lot that you want then requires a subdivision,
Okay,
and then after that will be a re-subdivision.
okay, got it. It's a pretty iconic property, though, in town. I mean, when you drive by there,
Yeah.
it's almost landmarkish. Like you know where you are when you go by there.
That's right.
I always remember as a kid going, wow, they have a big yard.
Yeah, a lot of cut the grass. A lot of
You know,
grass to
I
cut.
often wondered who cuts that grass. Yeah. But, you know, times are what they are and people can do what they want with their property, but it's just interesting about it. But it certainly is a big piece of property. But okay, thank you for the edification and clarity, Seb. I'm done.
Any other questions for members of the commission? No? Okay. You all set, Sev? I'm going to open it up to the
I'm all
public.
set unless you have additional questions.
No, I don't see anyone up here, so let's open it up to members of the public. Anyone who'd like to testify either for or against this application, please come forward, state your name and address, and let us know your thoughts. All right, as I said, I think we're going to leave this one open. We're going to wait for the town attorney to get back to us with a confirmation, and we'll come back at our next meeting on August 16th, 7, and hopefully be ready to take action on this one, all right? Okay, with that, let's move into our business meeting. Item number 9A, Mark Mahalik, special permit application for a garage in excess of 3 spaces, property located at 126 Laurel Wood Drive, Zone R80, SPU 664. Thank you, Jim. Do we have any further discussion before we ask for a motion? We get a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve SPU number 664 with the stipulation that the applicant worked with town staff and engineering to their satisfaction.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Kier with a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mary Ellen, can you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Tedesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Volpe?
Yes.
Commissioner Woloski?
Yes.
Alternate Commissioner Carden?
Yes.
Alternate Commissioner Ma?
Yes.
Commissioner Santago?
Yes.
Chair Hammersley?
Hammersley's a yes. Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations. Good luck. Item Imperial Development LLC subdivision application for a 5-lot re-subdivision. Property located at 540 Lazy Lane, Zone R 2025. Can we get a motion to table?
Mr. Chair, I move that we table the application on 540 Lazy Lane, number 1336.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. Any?
My first one.
Yeah, good job.
Cool.
You did a great job. Yeah. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
We have a second, a motion, and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9C, Lewis Realty LLC site plan application for expansion of kitchen cabinet outlet to provide more showroom space for cabinets, countertops, preparation and storage from a 6,000 square foot to a 12,000 square foot property located at 919 Queen Street in a B zone, SPR 1786.1. This has been tabled a number of times. I think we need a formal request to ask for a 30-day extension.
Mr. Chairman, Seb Bovino, Plano Credit Jones, represent the applicant. The history of this property is in 2019, we received approval for a site plan. And by the time the company decided to build, they realized they need more space. So we are here with a revision of the site plan. There's some questions that staff has. We haven't been able to get to them and answer them appropriately, so we need an extension.
Okay, so a 30-day extension should satisfy. I hope that we can get this done. I mean, I
Yeah, we should be
really
able to-
appreciate the applicant here, and I remember back in 2019 approving this one. So can we get a motion to table this application?
I'll make a motion to table this application, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Volpe with a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Ma. We're spreading the
Get
wealth.
in there. There you go.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 9D, TKO Installations, Inc., something modification to install a drive-up ATM and an existing bank, 885 Queen Street in a B zone, SPR 1840. I will note that there is not an existing bank at that location.
I was
That's not quite accurate, so,
I was wondering that.
you know, stickler for detail, I guess, whatever. Again, could you just lead with your name and address for us? Yeah.
Good evening, Jeff Board, professional engineer in the state of Connecticut with Bowler Engineering located at 65 LaSalle Road in West Hartford, Connecticut. Here on behalf of TKO Installations and Chase Bank. Appreciate you guys' patience. We've tabled this one a couple of times as well. A few vacations, a few COVID sicknesses, and here we are. So basically what we're here for, we had reached out to the town staff early on in the process. What they're proposing to do is a standalone drive-up ATM. And it's in the parking lot, 885 Queen Street, where the TJ Maxx, the IHOP, the Bob's Discount Furniture. It's compliant with all regulations as far as setbacks go. There's currently 893 parking spaces in that lot. And I know this is going to be very hard to see here. Do you guys have it in front of you too?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically the top left of this page is the existing conditions. There's 5 parking stalls that are currently existing in this aisle here. And they're basically proposing the drive-up ATM with a 2-car queue right in this location here. And what that does is it brings it from 893 down to 888 parking spaces in this lot overall, where I believe there's only, I had the number here, 691 required by code. So they're still well in excess in parking. Typically, these drive-up ATMs have 1 car at a time. They do allow for a 2-car queue. So there's 2-car stacking for this particular location. And we had worked with town staff. We came in with a different layout originally. And due to the traffic pattern concerns they had, we ended up flipping it and putting it on that outbound side. So now you'd basically come in this location and then exit out into the drive aisle. So part of the application, there is 1 new light going in that is an LED fixture, dark sky compliant, downlight basically. That's 23 feet in height. The existing lights in that center are the old retail lights you see that are about 30 feet in height with like the 4 Cobra heads on them. This one will look newer and it'll just be in the vicinity of the bank ATM, and that's just the one. That's basically it. We were hoping to have handled this administratively, but we respected the decision to make it come before you guys, and I was happy to come and present to you all this evening. So there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
So Jeff, thank you for that. Could you just show me like overview of where in the parking
Yep.
lot are we talking about placing this?
Yeah, let me see here.
Like if you're really like, yeah, there you go. Now, go down to the very bottom there. I think it will show it, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I have to remember that.
Bear with me here. So basically, this is the existing IHOP, I believe, and then the TJ Maxx is on the corner here. So this is the entrance drive coming right down the middle,
Right?
and it's basically located where those 5 stalls are in the inside corner here.
Okay.
So, okay, so let me ask this question, because I can't remember, but I don't recall those raised curbs on either end of that aisle. Are they currently there?
There's curbs there now. We're proposing to keep the curbs there. We're just providing the vehicular movement for the congruent with the ATM itself.
And the reason I ask is because sometimes my experience in that parking lot is people get a little bit rambunctious, I guess, and just flying down the middle there and,
Gotcha.
you know, right? Whew.
And I think part of
Like,
the,
wait a second, like,
Yeah.
I didn't see that car come flying out of Bob's Discount Furniture, like, what's going on?
and I think similarly to that comment, anything in the vicinity of this ATM as far as curbing goes, if there is something that needs to be replaced, they were willing to replace it in addition to any compromised landscaping in the vicinity. And that came up as one of the staff comments that we were willing to do during construction.
And I think one of the comments that came out of engineering was a comment about a stop sign.
Correct. So basically what that was, there's an existing stop sign here, and because they were trying to get away without doing this through planning and zoning, they had done this based on like LiDAR contours, so there wasn't an A2 survey done. So the only thing not shown on our plan was an existing stop sign in this aisle that was basically serving this drive aisle exiting into the main lane. So we had agreed to basically locate that on the final plans that come back that'll be signed and sealed with the town. So it's already on our plan. It's just
Flying
not
out of that drive-through,
correct.
you know.
Correct.
And this seems to be a little bit of a new thing with Chase Bank particularly. I know they have
Correct.
one in Plainville where rather than put a bank up and make that investment in our community, if you get my drift.
Yep, I catch it. Been catching it in a lot of towns.
You don't have to respond to that, so look, my business uses Chase, so, you know, I get it. But anyways, any other questions for members of the commission? Any comments? Commissioner Volpe?
I personally I use these a lot, just because physical interactions pain me as a millennial. So I'm excited about it. I am glad. I did want to reiterate about the stop sign though, because that is a tricky spot. And what I often do is I'll take that left there by IHOP and like sneak into the TJ Maxx parking and then try to, you know, so our chair is absolutely correct that those that's necessary. But I do think this is a good location. This is a busy location.
Yep.
So I also appreciate the lighting because security was going to be another
Correct.
issue for me.
Correct.
But it seems safe. We are a safe town. And I think it's a good addition to Queen Street, which is busy no matter what.
Correct.
Might as well get something out of it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Christina. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Tedesco?
Is there an existing stop sign by the exit of the ATM to enter it over there?
Yeah, so basically what was missing on here is right where the hand is now, if you guys can see that, that's where there's an existing stop sign. If that has been damaged, we're willing to replace that for the cars coming in this drive aisle, coming out. So there'll be a stop sign there. And then we propose the stop sign, do not enter sign, that's going to be a few feet in front of that and angled for people exiting this way and back into the main drive aisle. So that's basically, there'll be redundancy. So there'll be one stop sign facing in this direction for cars coming down this aisle. And then there's going to be an additional stop sign, do not enter sign, exiting our drive aisle.
So for the exit, which way is the do not enter going to be angled? Because I wouldn't want drivers to get confused that they can't enter.
Yeah, so basically it's going to be in this line right here, and it's hard to see it, but it's on the plan this way. So the stop sign's going to be facing the car exiting in this direction, and the do not enter is going to be, more this way. We can rotate it a little bit more, 90 degrees, so that it is clear. Because I see what you're saying. If it's on an angle slightly, you don't want somebody coming in here thinking that's a do not enter for this drive
Yeah,
aisle.
and all of a sudden they jerk
Yep.
in, and that'd be my only concern.
And
about the
they
angle of the
would, they would
do
still
not
be able to see it. The only reason it was on the angle was really just for this, but that is something that we can look at.
You ready, Nick? You all set? Commissioner Coles?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So one quick question. I think I'm looking at the same on my screen as yours. So in the main drive aisle, as we're going towards the west, I believe, as that car is going, there is enough turn radius for that car to take a left and all the way through?
Correct. Yep. This car would come in here and go around this way, and likewise, the other car movement going down the drive aisle and up the main drive aisle also works.
All right, thank you.
You all set, Kate?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Santiago?
He asked what I was going to ask.
Okay. There you go. Look at, any other questions before I, no, you all set?
Yeah, I had a
Okay.
confusion.
Steve, you all set?
I'm fine.
Okay. Do staff have any comments? Jim, are you okay with the conversations on the stop sign? I know
Yeah.
that was a concern.
Mr. Chairman and members, it's ready for action
Okay.
as far as engineering is concerned.
You all set? Okay. With that, anything else to add, Jeff?
I'm all set. Thank
Okay,
you very
let's-
much.
Let's look for a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Is it Commissioner Volpe?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Tedesco. Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, roll call, Mary Ellen, please.
Commissioner Tedesco?
Yes.
Commissioner Volpe? Commissioner Wilowski?
Yes.
Alternate Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Alternate Commissioner Ma? Commissioner Santiago?
Yes.
Chair Ham?
Here's a yes, motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You should pay attention to our sign regulations. It's something that's special to me, so.
Yes, I thought about bringing that up.
Mary Ellen will know all about it, but anyways,
It'll look real nice.
item 9E,
Thanks.
release of a $27,060 E&S bond, Hunter Build LLC, Bayberry Woods, SPR 1752. Jim, is this throw it to you is this ready?
Yep, ready for action, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion on this? Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move we approve SPR number 1752.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Woloski with a second. Gotta get you in there, you know? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 9F, release of a $40,200 P&I bond, Phase 1, 300 Welch Road, S1327.
Ironically, this is for a sidewalk that was installed on an existing street, so that's part of our discussion earlier, but this time, the developer offered out the sidewalk as part of the subdivision development.
I think
This
that's
is
great.
this is a North Ridge development.
Yeah, Mr. Lovely proposed that as part of the subdivision, so it's built and ready for release.
Okay, any further discussion from members of the commission? Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move we approve S1327.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Tedesco with a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 10, administrative items. I don't think there's anything here for you, Mary Ellen, right? I'll just make a note to everybody that our next meeting is on August 16th. So we are again moved to one meeting a month. So just make sure you don't show up here 2 weeks from now, because no one will be here. I mean, someone might be here. It won't be us, though. Anything else to offer from the commission before we look for a motion to adjourn? We have any new applications?
Not yet.
Nothing? Okay. Look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any
Hi.
opposed? There we go.
Look at that. 40 minutes.
Hopefully I'll see everyone on August 4th.
Thank you all.
Oh, yeah. In the Barn Museum.
Yes.